you are doing well. So it's about 6 a.m. for me right now. I'm headed to meet with my personal trainer and then going to a boxing class so I can get punched in the face a few times. Being a boxing, I need to put on my contacts. So I was listening to a morning huddle that I'm on, and the moderator was talking about what would you need to do to double your income by next month, right? What would you need to do to double your income by next month? And the first thing that came to my head, when I came to my head, what would you need to do double your income next month? The first thing that came to my head was, well, I don't want to do that work, right? Or I don't want to, or I don't have the time. I started making excuses immediately for what I know I needed to do. Think about that. The moderator of the call said, what do you need to do to double your income next month? And the first thing I did was I started thinking of all the limiting beliefs and excuses that I had in my head. Does that sound about right? I see you out in the chat. Let me know. Does that sound about right? When I said I need to double my income next month, the first thing that came into my mind was a limiting excuse. Does that sound about right? Isn't that crazy that when somebody says a question, they don't even say you have to have a certain answer. It was simply, what would you need to do to double your income by next month? I started thinking of limiting excuses. So what would you need to do to double your income by next month? What would you need to do to double your income by next month? Would you need to create a new program? Would you need to make cold calls? Would you need to talk to every customer that you currently have and see if you can get them to buy more stuff from you? What would you need to do if you had to double your income by next month? Start writing these things down. Start to brainstorm what you could do to double your income by next month, right? But Vikram. No, there's no buts here. There's no booties here. You do see any booties here? There's no booties. There's no butts here. What would you need to do to double your income by next month? Take out the judgment, take out the work. Just what kind of activities could you do to double your income by next month? One major activity you need to do is you need to work on the mind. We got to work on the mindset. Okay. We got to work on the mindset. The mindset says that I can't do it. Your mind is programmed to live in a certain thermometer. Your mindset is programmed to live at a certain temperature. Your mindset has been conditioned to live at a certain degree. So we got to program the mind a little bit so that your mind understands that, yes, I can make that much money. I deserve that much money. I am worthy of that much money, right? That's why when you hire a coach, the first thing they always say is, we have to work on the mind so that you accept that you're worthy of that. Once you're worthy of charging whatever you want, right? You might charge $100 an hour. You might charge $1,000 an hour. You might charge $10,000 an hour. I remember when I got into real estate, the first house I sold was like $450,000. And it was a $12,500, $13,000, $14,000 paycheck. That was a lot of money. I remember how much money how hard it was for me to make $1,000 selling knives, right? I remember when I flipped houses and we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Me and my partner to make 30,000. And here I went to an open house, couple of weekends. I spent 8 hours at a couple of open houses, right? Picked up 3 or 4 clients, found a buyer. They bought a $400,000 or $500,000 house. I probably spent with that buyer. We wrote an offer that took an hour. Probably took me a little bit longer because I didn't know what I was doing. But all in all, that was probably a 20 to 25 hour process. Let's call it 40 hours. 40 hours, and I made $15,000. Do the math on that. Do the math. Mind blowing. That's why everybody says get into real estate. I had experience in sales. I knew what I was doing. I had flipped houses. I understood the process. I learned along the way. I asked a lot of questions. You're not going to just go in real estate and just sell, a $500,000-$600,000 house. You might, but most people, there's 30,000 realtors, 40,000, 50,000 realtors in your city. And how many people actually sell? So don't just think, oh my God, I can make 15 grand so easy. I had to train myself that I was worth that much money per hour, right? I had to go from making $50 or $100 an hour and working a lot. And I had to go from thinking about, oh my God, I have to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money, to just simply thinking, hey, I can make money by doing this skill that I've honed my whole life, which is selling and connecting with people, listening to what they want, and then I can make money. So if you need to double your income, maybe you need to change your industries. That could be an option, right? I'm just throwing out options. Maybe you need to change the mind. Maybe you could sell one program, like let's say you make $10,000 a month. Maybe you could create one program where you add $100,000 of value to your client and you charge them $10,000. Or maybe you say, hey, I'll train your sales team and I take a commission from your profits, right? I'll train your sales team. You don't pay me any money up front, but after the end of 30 days, I'll take 25% of what your sales team increased from January to February or last February or whatever it is, right? You figure out the logistics later. Big old whiteboard, or you can get some paper, right? You get your yellow pad out, start writing down all the different ways you could double your income. All the different ways you could double your income. There's so many. Maybe you start an eBay store. Maybe you start an Amazon store. Maybe you start going to, Gary Vaynerchuk. The dude's worth a couple $100 million, I'm sure. He goes to yard sales and he buys stuff and then he sells them online. I was in a Clubhouse chat yesterday, and one of the guys that was in there, he says, dude, all this stuff you need is there's already done for you systems. So if you want to make more money, he's like, dude, I buy this crap off of like Alibaba, and then I get this done for you system, and all I got to do is do the front end, and they take care of everything else. I don't know exactly how he did it, but he's like, there's systems out there for you. Maybe you have an experience and a skill set that's so amazing that you've went through, right? You went through the process of learning something and you're so good at it that you could teach that to 2 or 3 people and charge them a couple $1,000. And you just teach them that one thing. And that could double your income, right? Maybe you just got to make cold calls, right? I don't like making cold calls necessarily, but I know that if I were to call every person in on my database, if I pulled up the amount of leads that we have in our database, and I just said, I'm going to call every single person until the month was over, I'm going to get on the phone for 5 hours a day, and I'm going to just call and call and call and call and make sales. I could probably quadruple my income. Most of you could do the same, right? So there's different ways to level up your income. Don't judge them. Just write them down. Write them down. Maybe you charge more money, right? That's okay. If you have a great skill, right? If you have a great skill, let's say you're an attorney. The guy that I was listening to, he's an attorney, and he was talking about a story where he could have made $750,000, but he didn't have his mind right. So he only made I didn't listen to the full story, but he got offered by the client a check for $55,000. But because his mind wasn't right at the beginning of the conversation with the guy, where the guy was going to give him 25% of whatever they won, the guy was being sued for $1 million, and they ended up getting a $3 million settlement, right? So that's a net $4 million gain. Like, he could have made 750 grand. He ended up getting probably $100,000, which was still a ton of money for him. He might've got more. I don't know, but he was offered 55. Knowing this guy, he probably negotiated up. He probably ended up in the 6-figure range. But for him to walk in at the beginning and say, hey, I want 6 figures for what I can do, even though he knew he could help, he wasn't confident, right? You gotta start asking for more money. One of my personal coaches, I'm not going to say his name out of respect, but he charged me $35,000 for a year of coaching. And I said, bro, that's a lot of money. He goes, I know, Vikram, like, if you can't afford it. And I'm like, no, I'm going to pay you, but you should, for what you've done in life, for scaling the companies you've done. I'm going to get you my credit card right now. Like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, but I will figure it out. But you need to charge more money to other people. Not me. I'm good. 35. That's way more than I ever paid for a coach, right? That was like, a lot more than I've ever paid for a coach. but you should be charging. He's like, well, my normal price is 50. I was like, dude, you should be doubling and tripling and quadrupling that. You just told me like 10 stories while we were walking to coffee where you were telling me how you helped a company scale from 2 million to 10 million. You told me about how you helped a company sell for hundreds of millions of dollars and the owner walked away with like $50 million. And you charged like $40,000 for your time. He's like, well, I only worked for, don't tell me how many hours you worked. Tell me the results you got. Because it's not the work that you sometimes do right now. It's all the years of work that you got up to that. So what can you do to double your income next month? Right? What can you do? You got to get comfortable asking for more money. You got to realize that you're worth it inside for more money because you've done the work that those people haven't. You've gone to the classes, you've put in the time, you've done the trainings, you've done the real life experience. What can you do to double your income next month? Write it down. Put it in the comments. Come on. Share with other people. One of the great things about social media platforms is that we get the opportunity to share with other people things that we've been through. And I don't have all the answers to everything. I have some answers to a lot of things, but I don't have all the answers to everything. So you guys have knowledge that you can share. And if you share and somebody else shares and somebody else shares, now you might not have had an idea, but now you do. And you're like, oh my God, I can totally do that. Hold on. I got to drink my protein shake. I have a workout here. So what I'm drinking right now, this is protein, creatine, 5 grams of creatine a day. It's a scoop of protein because I'm out of my protein. So I'm trying to make it last until my shipment comes in. I think it comes in today. And it's a scoop of Imperium. So it's Fortigen protein and it's Imperium for energy. And then because I am looking to gain weight, I got a cup of steel cut oatmeal right here that's just simmering with some raw honey in there. It's actually delicious. But after my project's over in middle of February, I'll go back to being 100% carnivore. Because I do feel better when I'm 100% carnivore. But I just need some sustained energy and I don't want to get to this project, which is a couple of days long and we're not eating the same diet. It's basically you get dog food, I'm assuming. And I don't want to have, stomach issues there. So I have to assimilate to carbs. Put in the comments some of the things that you're thinking about. Don't judge them, right? Don't judge them. It doesn't matter whatever you write down, whatever you can think about in that beautiful mind of yours to increase your income, write it down. The question is whether you're going to do it or not. That's a different question. We can figure that out later. But what would you do right now to double your income? I want you to put that in the comments. Here's things that I know I could do. Right? Here's the things that I know I could do. I could reach out to all my old real estate clients and see if they need to buy or sell real estate. And then I could refer that out to somebody else in the Seattle area. That's one thing I could do. I could call all my current clients right now at my current business. And I could ask them if they have a friend or if they want to add some of our services that could really benefit them. And I could teach them about our other services and why they need them. That would generate income. 3, I got about 1,500 leads from my current business, and I could call those. 4, I could call all the people who have ever reached out to me about coaching, and I could fill my schedule up to the brink with one-on-one coaching clients. 5, I'm actually creating an online program right now, and I can make sure that was done by next week. And I could start to sell that. I've already got a lot of the building blocks in place. So I just need to sell it and create the funnels for it. So I could do that. 6, I could door knock, right? I could door knock and sell a product, right? I could sell a service. I could, whatever. 7, I used to sell knives. I made a shitload of money doing it. I could do that, right? I still got the ability to do that. So I could sell knives. 8, I could go get a job in sales where I was selling a product for somebody and there was no cap and I could figure out different ways like door knocking, calling all their service lists, calling all their canceled people. And I could make money there. I could call all of our customers who aren't members of our center anymore. Right. So you guys have customers out there that decided for one reason or the other to do business or to stop doing business with you, you could call all of them, right? You could learn a new skill really quickly. So you could learn a new skill really quickly and you could start to go out and do that. So there's a lot of ways to make money, right? There's a lot of ways to double and triple and quadruple your income. One of the easiest one is just start charging more money for what you're already doing, right? Just you could start to charge more money for what you're already doing. That is completely acceptable. And there's nothing wrong with charging more money for what you're doing. Like I know people are like, oh, we're in a pandemic, this, that, and the other. That's okay. There's plenty of people that are paying tons of money for things out there. There's so many new businesses starting, right? You can start a new business in your passion that you love to do. Maybe it doesn't have to be a business that's super expensive. Maybe you go out and you find some real estate deals that are good deals, and you take those to people like me or different investors, and you make a small commission, or you make a wholesaling fee on the deal, or you lock the deal up and you say, hey, I want to be your partner in it. So when you sell the property, I get 15 or 20%, but they don't do anything. You don't have to do anything, right? You just find the deals. There's plenty of people out there with money that don't have time to find the deals. You could do a done for you service, right? You could do a done for you service. There's a lot of people out there that love done for you services. Like for me, I hate going to the grocery store. So I use Instacart. Done for you service. I get on their app. I see what I want. I pick it out and it's done for me. I show up at home after I'm done working. I got 2 bags, 3 bags, 4 bags sitting on my porch with what I need to eat. Done for you services. You could be a personal concierge to people, right? So you can do services for people that have money. And not only do you get to meet people that are in the position you eventually want to be in, you get paid for it. And so you could start a done for you service, right? So there's a lot of different things out there. What are you thinking about right now? Put it down. Just write it down. Don't judge yourself. Write it down. Put it on paper. Share it in the comments. Help other people, right? Helping other people helps you. Believe it or not, it creates good vibes. One of the big things that I've been learning is that manifestation, right? Sending out the vibes that you want, right? Being energetically aligned, right? It sounds people like, what does that even mean? I don't know. It just means you raise your vibration, right? I'm wearing a vibration device. It's called a Healy, right? So you raise your vibrations. And as you raise your vibrations, you feel better, right? One of my friends sent me flowers for my birthday. Thank you. I put that around where I'm working because it makes me feel better, right? I have live plants in all of my rooms. Makes me feel better. So you raise your vibration, and as you raise your vibration energetically, the universe responds by giving you more stuff of what you're asking for. So if your vibrations are low and you're asking, why me, why me, why me in a negative way, you're going to get more of why me in a negative way. But if your vibrations are high, energetically, the universe is going to continue to shower you with good stuff. So there's a lot of ways out there. Figure out your way and share in the comments, please. That's the power of this, is that we have the ability to share things with other people. I love you so much. I care so much about you guys. I care that we all raise our vibrations in 2021. Let's stop worrying about what happened in 2020. That's done. It is what it is. Now we pivot and now we create. That's what 2021 is about. 2021 is about pivoting and creating something bigger and better for ourselves, our families, our futures, the people we care about. Like I have a really big goal for somebody in my life that I love so much. And I know she doesn't have a lot of time on this planet. And so I'm like, dude, I got to get my shit together again. Like I can't be comfortable anymore. I got to burst out of that comfort of 2020 and get into the uncomfortable zone of 2021, because I need to create so much wealth and I need to provide so much value that in a short period of time, I can 10x my income so that I can give a gift to somebody who I care so deeply about before they are no longer here on this earth, because they have worked so hard for me and other people. So what's your why too? Y'all, I care. I've been told that I talk too much on these videos and that I need to keep my messages concise. So I'm going to do that. Thank you all.